Brad? Have you talked to Dan?
Been in constant communication with his family. He's resting well and he feels better, and you know, obviously always scary, but he's got a good support network. He's got you know, obviously expect a full recovery, and he's feeling good, so that's all positive, but certainly scary.
What are your concerns?
When did you find out?
Yeah, I mean, he's to me, he's, you know, he's a friend, and you know, the family's been so good to us, and so you don't even think about anything else. You just want them to all be, him to be comfortable and feeling great, getting better, good prognosis. All that's the case, and then you know, obviously immediately goes to his family and his kids and his wife, and they all seem to be doing well too.
Does it make the team go into Game 3? He's on your mind. You got to pull out the win for him.
You know, I think that this is much bigger than basketball. So Game 3 is Game 3. Obviously, you always want to play your best at this time of the year. Obviously, he really cares about the result. We all really care about the result. But this is a game. So, you know, that's what it is.
Speaking of, how do you make the adjustments from Game 2 to tomorrow night?
Yeah, there's some things that we need to do better, some things that we need to do different, and so we worked on that today, and we'll work on it again tomorrow morning.
When did it happen? Did it happen during the game? After the game?
No, before.
Did you come out of Milwaukee feeling good about yourselves that you earned a split, or not so good because of Game 2?
I don't, you know, none of us wanted a split after you won the first one. I think we wanted to play better. We didn't. They played great. They did a great job with the way they defended us, the way that they attacked us. Obviously shot the heck out of the ball. So I looked at it as there's a lot that we can do better. An awful lot of credit goes to Milwaukee.
How much are you looking forward to coming home and playing at the D-Guard in front of your hometown fans and returning to Boston?
Yeah, I mean, we were looking forward to coming home anyways. I think that, but you know, anytime that you get a chance to play a playoff game in TD Garden, it's special.
If it happened before the game, you guys must have been really distracted.
You know, I think one of the things that I'll just comment from my own standpoint, felt good about, you know, where he was and doing well. Excuse me?
Were you with Danny?
No.
Did it happen before the game?
Yes.
And the team was all aware of it as they went into it? So they only found out about it, obviously everyone found out about it.
People have all found out at their own time.
So Milwaukee had hit a bunch of three-pointers in the second game that they didn't hit in the first game. Was there something that you guys didn't do on defense in the second game?
I think that obviously anytime that they make shots, you want to do your best to get into their airspace and those type of things. You could also overanalyze that probably, and you have to give credit where credit's due at times. They hit a lot of open ones. We got to stop. You know, we got to eliminate the open ones. Some of the Middleton shots that he made were hats off. Some of them were wide open. You got to do your best to guard the wide open ones. Right now, Giannis is 5 for 9 in the series from 3. You know, I think that there's only so much you can do about those, but I do think that ultimately we've got to do as well as we can at, you know, protecting the paint first and flying out and challenging. This is why they're who they are, right? They've got the best driver in the league, surrounded by guys that all make shots, and that's hard to guard.
Were you with Giannis continually driving you? Did you guys sort of get mentally fatigued in the second half because he keeps pounding?
I don't think so. I think we actually, you know, did an okay job on most of the drives. Again, the threes, you got to challenge as well as you can. But at the end of the day, that's a tough cover when he's making that pull-up three. And I think that credit him for knocking them down and shooting them. And but those closeouts where we can maybe be a step closer into the airspace of the shooters and stop Giannis, that's the great conundrum, right? So you just have to do it with a ton of multiple efforts.
When they, you know, they went to switching a lot.
Yeah.
How much of a change-up was that?
Yeah, it was pretty significant. I mean, they haven't switched much all year. That being said, I think one of the things about the NBA is you play against switching every game. You know, and so like, you know, the Pacers, who hadn't switched much all year, also went to switching quite a bit. And And so we had to prepare quite a bit for that in games 2, 3, and 4 of the Pacers series. The whole league has gone very athletic and small, and so you see switching as a primary defense of most teams all year. Has not been Milwaukee's primary defense, but they have the ability to do it because they're so long and athletic, and that's what they did last year in the playoffs. So it's not like unexpected by any means, but certainly more than what they've done in the past. And it wasn't necessarily the scheme as how hard they did it. Like it was a great adjustment, and also they just did it really hard. Like sometimes when you switch and you're not into airspace, then it's not as effective. But they switched physically, they were tough, they were helpful. We just have to do a better job of handling all that.
Malcolm Brogdon was out the first 2 games. He'll be back tomorrow night. How much does that change your game plan?
Doesn't change our game plan a lot, other than they just have another really good player on the floor, 50, 40, 90 guy, makes threes at a high rate, and can also drive the ball. He's a tough cover because you have to, again, get from help into Giannis, into his airspace, and guard the drive. That's what makes him so effective. He's a heck of a player on both ends. It just adds to their team.
Brad, you talk about that hitting singles mentality.
Yeah.
How hard is it to pull guys out of it when you're not in that mindset, like in that third quarter stretch when you take those quick shots?
Yeah.
You call a timeout. How hard is it to get those guys to pull out of that once they're already in it?
Just kind of depends on the game, and I thought that in that stretch we actually missed some pretty darn good looks, but wasn't going down for us, and then we started forcing some, and trying to come back and get it all back at once. And you're in trouble when you do that in any game, but certainly on the road when the other team is really gaining steam.
Tatum's off to kind of a slow start in this series. I mean, you do something to get him going.
It's great. Law of averages plays itself out. He'll be fine.